From skipping out on a fun night of drinking because he didn't have a fake ID, to having his mom help him out with resumes for auditions. These are some of Timothée Chalamet's cringiest moments. There are some good ones to choose from, but remember when he made a complete fool of himself in front of Saoirse Ronan. He's beauty, he's grace, but he's giving everyone around him some major secondhand embarrassment. This fun little story took place when he and Ronan were filming for the 2017 movie Lady Bird, and Chalamet was supposed to be playing the cool kid that Ronan's character ends up being intimate with. Surprisingly enough, that relationship wasn't all that easy for Timothée to pull off. Like I said, in the movie, he's supposed to be an object of desire, which was hardly how he actually felt with Ronan, because their relationship off-set didn't play out like that at all. This was still one of the young actor's first major roles, and he didn't have much experience being around high-profile actors. So when Saoirse came up to him one day after filming, asking him whether he wanted to join her and some of the rest of the cast for drinks, Timothée straight up blurted out that he didn't have a fake ID. This was super surprising for Ronan, and she ended up just walking away without him. The actor didn't care a lot about the whole thing initially, but eventually realized what a fool he'd made of himself. So as she was walking away, he recalled wanting to yell after her, "No, come back! Please think I'm cool. I can feel the cringe in my soul." After all these years, though, it seems like the incident didn't really affect the actors' relationship negatively. They're actually besties, and Saoirse even calls him her pretty little pony, because apparently he likes nuzzling her and Greta Gerwig. That is really cute. Then there were those photographs that turned the young actor's love life into a meme. In 2018, we were blessed with that iconic and hilarious picture of Noah Cyrus and Lil Xan that became the meme of the year. The one with Lil Xan giving Noah that awkward smooch on the cheek. Nobody thought a picture of the same nature could ever top that one, but clearly they were wrong. The pictures of Timothée and Lily Rose Depp intensely making out on a yacht went viral in 2019, and the only thing better than the pictures were the memes. Some people thought that it looked like their first kiss ever, while others thought Lily Rose was giving him the Dementor's kiss. Now the thing is, Lily Rose has been involved in several scandals since she got famous, but Timothée's never been part of any, not like this one at least. Many called the incident a publicity stunt, but over a year later, the actor broke his silence, letting people know that he'd gone to bed that night thinking about how it was one of the best days of his life because he'd gotten to spend the day with someone he really loved. You hear that? Loved. When asked about whether it was a PR stunt, here's what he had to say. "A PR stunt? Do you think I'd want to look like that in front of all of you?" The actors may have parted ways a few months after the picture was taken, but the level of cringe from the pictures and the memes on the internet are forever. That being said, it's not just his real-life romances that have resulted in some cringe-worthy moments. He went through something similar while filming Dune Part 2. This experience with Zendaya was anything but uncomfortable for both actors. I can bet on that. Their on-screen chemistry made everyone except the actors swoon. Who'd have thought that it wasn't easy to depict a futuristic romance? I mean, think about it. There's a lot of factors at play, like having limited filming times at sunset and having to act out some of the most awkward script scenes. How does one even flirt when they're restricted to the weird language they use in Dune? Zendaya could not, for the life of her, understand how to work through the romance scenes. But don't worry, none of that was Timmy's fault. It's just that the pair didn't fully predict how difficult it would be to bring their characters' love story to the screen. In an interview with Vanity Fair, she spilled the tea about those scenes and talked about how funny it was to figure out what would work for the characters. It was tricky exploring how a space warrior and the Duke of a planet would express their feelings to each other. Zendaya wasn't even sure what it would sound like. The romance between the characters plays a huge role in Dune, especially in the upcoming sequel, which is why the co-stars felt like they were totally in the dark about their on-screen performance. The Euphoria star also added that the experience was just as foreign to them as it was to the characters they were playing. So if you see them stumbling over confessions of their undying love for each other, remember that it might be because the actors themselves were struggling to express it too. If you think this was hard to listen to, wait till you hear about the time Chalamet literally fell out of a chair while giving an interview. the actor was sitting and minding his own business when a force knocked him out of the chair. He was recalling the incident while he was on Jimmy Kimmel's show, but Kimmel just wasn't buying his story. That's when Timothée spilled the actual tea. He said that there was a girl in the audience who he was really excited to see. He even added how surprised he was when he saw her. But things don't always go according to plan for our man, and the next thing he knew, he was lying on the floor, wondering how the heck that happened. It was almost as if he was yeeted out of his chair in front of a whole audience, including the girl he was making eyes at. We've all been there, Timmy, only our cringe moments aren't up on the internet for the whole world to see. Which brings me to the next moment, the time Timothée met Emma Watson. Timothée's apparently been a huge Potterhead since he was a kid, so he was obviously flustered by Emma's presence on set while filming Little Women. In an interview with Seth Meyers, he revealed that Greta Gerwig had the cast take part in a dance class as kind of an icebreaker and as a way for them to loosen up around each other. I don't know whether this one was just a weird and embarrassing moment or the downside of being the only guy in the room. Either way, it's something he'll never forget. The first time he met Emma Watson, the actor had to put in quite a bit of work before he could stop seeing her as Hermione Granger, and in his defense, that makes total sense. I mean, what would you do if you were in his shoes? I know I'd go into standby mode, so I don't blame him for this one. If anything, this is one embarrassing moment I think we all can agree is totally justified, but not everything's justifiable. I want to talk about one of the most uncomfortable scenes from all of Chalamet's movies, the infamous Peach scene from Call Me By Your Name, where his character, a 17-year-old, gets a bit too comfortable with the fruit, if you catch my drift. The actor shared more about the scene during an interview, revealing that it's something he can't get out of his head. Ever since the movie, he's actually been scared that even 50 years down the lane, there's going to be people coming up to him, peaches in hand, asking him to sign them or something. That's so awkward. But this is all in the future. Wait till you hear about how he used to get acting gigs when he first started. His mom used to fill out his audition resumes for him. Now, of course, he's directly responsible for this, but it's still an awkward story, especially if you're a star as big as Timothée Chalamet. He brought up the topic on The Tonight Show, revealing that his mother was in charge when he was just starting out in the acting game. I think Mama Chalamet took some creative liberties with the job because she didn't fill in the resume with just his acting skills, but also some regular old stuff, like how he can play chess. But don't worry, he was a good sport about the whole thing and joked about how no casting director would have chosen him for a role based on his chess abilities. So there you have it. From having his mom help him out with resumes for auditions to skipping out on a fun night of drinking because he didn't have a fake ID, those were some of Timothée Chalamet's cringiest moments.